This is our last tour through the mountains of North Ossetia. In conclusion, we are going to the most far location of North Ossetia, but probably the most beautiful one, Digora Gorge. Digora Gorge is located in the Urukh river basin, 120 kilometers from Vladikavkaz. It should be noted that Ossetians are generally divided into three sub-ethnic groups: the Digors, the Irons and the Kudars. So, Digora Gorge is the main place of residence Ossetian-Digors. After almost 2 hours of driving, we reached the settlement of Chicola, one of the 4 largest villages of Digoria and the administrative center of the district. The other 3 are Digora, Dur-Dur and Lesken. After the annexation of Ossetia to the Russian Empire, the Tsarist administration conducted a policy of the resettlement of Ossetian Muslims and Christians. In 1852, a commission headed by Prince Vorontsov forcibly expelled the Muslim Ossetians from various settlements of North Ossetia and settled them in a place now known as Chicola. Chicola, translated from Turkish, means free hills. At the same time, the Ossetian Christians moved to the place called Free Christians, and which is now called the city of Digora.
Это место называется Чертов мост. В 1919 году, во времена красных, люди из Дигорского ущелья вот в этом узком проходе оборонялись от красных и перепрыгивали из одной части ущелья в другую. Поэтому их назвали хайреджики, черти. Говорят, что этот мост был назван Чертов мост, именно потому, что они обладали как будто какими-то сверхъестественными возможностями. Это у нас каньон Akhsinta. Это самый глубокий каньон в Северной Осетии.
Вообще, да, обалдеть.
Akhsinta Gorge opens the vernissage of the beauties of the Digora mountains. It is the narrowest gorge in the North Caucasus and the deepest in North Ossetia. The river Urukh has cut its way through the Rocky Mountains at breakneck speed. The gorge is so narrow that the sun's rays never reach the bottom of the gorge. In Ossetia, there are 2 monuments to Tsar Uastyrdzhi, the most influential celestial body of the Ossetian pantheon. I have already remembered one of them, standing at the very beginning of Alagir Gorge. The link to the video is in the description. The second monument, also on a horseback, can be found here in Digora Gorge, just 4 kilometers from the Devil's Bridge, which we have just visited. And since the inhabitants of the Ossetia Republic entrust every more or less important matter to the care of Uastyrdzhi, the Tsar monument is a very suitable place to do so. Besides, a long and quite dangerous mountain road lies ahead, and Uastyrdzhi is revered above all as the patron saint of travelers. The monument is made of bronze and was erected in 2015. The weight of the monument is 13 tons. The height is 6 meters. The author of the sculptural composition Soskiv Vladimir Borisovich. So, Digora Gorge is the northern part of the main Caucasus mountain range, Urukh River Basin. The Urukh is the largest river in Digoria. Its length 104 kilometers. Translated from Ossetian language, Urukh meaning wide. Since the Digora gorge is the farthest from the Vladikavkaz, 120 kilometers, the way here is a bit more backbreaking than to the Tsay gorge, but it's definitely worth it. Amazing, beautiful views, many impressive monuments of Ossetian history, high settlements, towers, crypts. Interestingly, as a native of Vladikavkaz who lived in Ossetia until the age of 27, I never bothered to visit Digora gorge because it is so far from the capital of the republic. It was the first, very bright and impressive acquaintance with the amazing corner of North Ossetia, Digora gorge. In Matsuta village we went to the last store on our way. Further, there will be no such opportunities to buy cookies and ice cream.
О, а кепки у вас почем? Давай, да. А как вам живется, скажите, вот так в горах? Вы здесь постоянно живете, да?
The name of the village Matsuta in the Ossetian language means "go no further." According to one version, in the 18th century there was a plague epidemic, as a result of which the population of Ossetia decreased sharply. Here there was a quarantine post, beyond which it was strictly forbidden to go. Here you can admire another interesting art object, the arrows of the Nart Soslan, based on one of the episodes of the Nart epic. Soslan shot the first arrow at the Urukh Bizguan, and the Urukh wavered. Urukh is a one-eyed giant, a cyclops in Ossetian mythology. Soslan shot the second arrow. The Urukh sank to the ground and said to Soslan, "Do not kill me, Soslan. It is better to take all my possessions. A scoundrel like you would rather die than live." "Well, in that case," said the Urukh, "if you kill me, then take off the grey hair on my head and rope it around your finger, and you will have twice as much strength." Soslan shot a third arrow into the Urukh, and the Urukh Bizguan died. Soslan plucked out the grey hair that grew on the top of the Urukh, but did not do as the Urukh had instructed before he died, but roped the hair around the tree first. The tree split in two. Soslan roped the hair around the second tree, the same thing. So he split 7 trees in a row, and only when he roped the hair around his little finger, and Soslan's power doubled. By the way, in the village of Matsuta, there is an old town where, according to legend, the famous Nart Soslan was buried. Of course, one can be skeptical about this fact, but in 1880, Professor Vsevolod Miller, a world-famous archaeologist, actually found in this town the remains of the skeleton of a huge man. Makes you think, doesn't it? Immediately behind the crypt of Soslan, a monument to the Ossetian warriors who died in World War II was erected. Leaving Matsuta behind, we are going further into the enchanted world of the Digora mountains. There are still many amazing places ahead of us. For example, the village of Fasnal, with the picturesque ruins of the mining and processing plant, popularly called Digora Coliseum. Or here is another of the 10 art objects, an Ossetian musical instrument called fandir. We will look into the gloomy depth of an abandoned tunnel with our brave speleologists Alan and Vanya. We will reach the very high mountain village of Kamunta. We will visit the ancient village of Galiad. But more about that in the next video.